Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talking Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we are looking at the interior trim panel and upholstery capping kit for the MGA Coupe models. So as with a lot of our kits, we supply effectively a bundle kit for the main interior trim panels and the associated cappings and dash area materials for retrimming at your end. So it's a mixture of trimmed up panels as well as loose materials cut to shape, some of which are sewn for trimming elements at your end. We sell it as a kit, and when you buy it as a kit, it's cheaper than buying all of those items within the kit individually. However, we can of course sell all of those items individually if you wish, but when we sell items individually, they're standardly done as car sets, so enough for a car. So for example, the door panels are sold as a pair of door panels, etc. So just bear that in mind, but generally speaking, most people go for these sort of trim panel kits because they work out cheaper, everything matches and everything's replaced to the same standard and workmanship. This kit here has been done to OEM specifications in terms of the materials, so it's vinyl. We can also supply these items in leather, either grain, smooth or the official Connolly Vomel, so see our website for details. Bear in mind that Vomel is price on availability, bear that in mind. Worth checking out the description below, as I will put a load of information on there related to this kit, as well as links to other videos that will be useful for not just elements of this kit but also other parts in the car which you may find useful. But also it's useful because I put links on there to areas of our website, which obviously where to buy the specific parts on our website, but also links to our blog and handbook area where we've done a lot of articles, and it's always more content going on there, which explain a lot about our raw materials, the processes we use, all things like that. Basically, we're very pedantic about our details, which is why we've got the reputation we have within the industry for being the best. And it's worth checking that out because it gives you a real feel for how we do things and why we're different to other companies out there. Anyway, that being said, let's dive on into this specific kit. So this kit's been done in vinyl. It's been done in Ferrari beige, which is not an original colour for the MGAs. Just bear that in mind. As the name suggests, it was used on Ferraris. But yeah, so Ferrari beige vinyl. It's worth noting this kit includes a couple of repeat items. Mainly the rear parcel shelf here. There's two different versions, the thin pointier one and the slightly fatter one, but also the B-post quarter panels here, one with the cutout, one without. Obviously normal trim panel kits only include one version of those there, but for the sake of this video I've included both because there are different versions depending on the exact spec of your MGA Coupe, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, for the sake of this video I've included both obviously. So let's start at the front. I'll try and go through this methodically. It's also worth noting, I'll get to it in time, we've got a repeat of the Post Footwell Kick Panels as well as the map pockets there, which I'll come to. I've just sort of laid them out to give a bit more detail on them. But let's start at the very front of the car. So what we've got here is you've got the dash top material. So this is literally material to cover the bodywork area directly below the windscreen. You then also have this rectangular piece here, which is the dash fascia. So that's where all your dials are. Again, it's material to recover your current one. It's worth bearing in mind that for both the dash fascia and the dash top, that not all MGA Coupes had material on those pieces. Some of them were painted, but as standard, unless instructed otherwise, we supply material to recover those as part of the trim panel kit. We also provide the pipings which go around those elements there. Two different versions, two different thicknesses of piping. We've got the fatter piping there, and then put it alongside the other one so you can see the difference. So different thickness cores of piping on there. They're actually mostly applicable to the dash top scuttle capping, which is this piece in the middle. So yep, that is the dash top scuttle capping in the middle there. That's the bit you kind of headbutt if you ended up crashing. But just to reference in a book here, so that's the scuttle capping that you can just see the corner of there. It's the bit that goes to left to right. It's effectively the crash roll. Dash fascia obviously there with the dials in it, and then the dash top would be that one there just below the windscreen. So that's those three pieces there and the associated pipings there. It's worth noting at that point there, we also do supply some other miscellaneous bits of piping for other areas of the capping in the car. they're definitely an oversupply. It seems like the majority of the cars did not have piping in these areas, but we have notes on our system that either some cars did, or that whoever gave us my father the patterns back in the 80s, he wanted piping there, and so ever since then we've put extra bits of piping in there. Up to you whether you use them or not. But yeah, just bear that in mind. It's worth noting as well with piping, a lot of people think it was put in these cars for aesthetic purposes, i.e. to make it look nice. It wasn't really. It was a way that these companies hid gaps in between their panels. So therefore, because of the inconsistencies of the manufacturing era of this time of car production, piping's sometimes very useful for hiding gaps in between trims. So with these sort of things, it's our general mentality that we prefer to oversupply bits, and potentially you don't need them, than to be left short and wanting at your end. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, that's the dash area. Moving on to the Post Footwell panels. So these are the kick panels. These are the bits that go down in the footwells on the outside of the car here, underneath the dash. They come as two separate kits, basically. You have the main A-post, which is this flat panel here, along with this fillet panel here, which goes over the cross member that you can just see there. So they're sold as a set of two there, but then a pair left and right effectively. And then you have the map pockets. This is why I've got this maroon set involved. So effectively you've got the main panel there, along with the fillet panel effectively there. And then the map pocket is sold separately, but as a pair. Now the map pockets are a millboard material. They're cut, creased to allow for bending, etc. They're then trimmed. These have actually been done in leather, in smooth leather, as you can see. And then we generally do the inside liners as standard in wool cloth. These have been done in grey to match the customer's headlining, which he's gone for a grey wool cloth. These have been done in beige. We've attached these to the panel to show you how it kind of looks when it's all in the car like that. So that's how they're kind of attached. You can see from this maroon one here that you have the necessary guide holes for those pop rivets. They are pop riveted on, as you can see here. Now generally speaking, we ship parts all over the world, a lot to North America especially, but also Australia, South Africa, you name it, we ship it there. Obviously and Europe. We have a UK base. Generally speaking, for UK customers, we will attach these as standard, but for international, we tend to send them as separate ones there. They're easy enough to attach at your end, but we don't like to risk certain bits in transit to the other side of the world like that, which are fairly breakable and damageable. But generally speaking, that's the rule of thumb. Of course, we do package things well, but we like to cover our base with these bits and bobs. But if you do want us to attach them, just let us know. That's absolutely fine. It's just the general rule of thumb that we follow on these. Anyway, going back to the actual panels, yeah, they're millboard, cut on our in-house CNC. They're creased, as you can see there, which allows for nice easy bending of them, trimmed all the way around, etc. The map pockets, same principle again, trimmed all the way around. Wool cloth on the inside as standard, but we can offer the original PVC kind of white or off-white headlining if you prefer. But wool cloth is a lovely material that we upgrade to for the most part. Worth noting as well, obviously there's tape on the back of this. That's purely to cover up the fixing pop rivets for transit purposes only. Obviously, I mean, you can leave it on when you're putting it in your car if you want, but it's mainly to stop the fixing on the back of it scuffing anything else in the kit there. So just bear that in mind. So they're the A-post footwell areas. Then moving further back onto the door panel area, you have the main door panels, which have that kind of raised sewn section in the middle of it. Pair of those, again, tape on the back just to protect in transit. You then have the door liners, which is material that covers the actual bodywork of the car and lines the back of the door. You then have the door top materials here, which is material to recover your original cappings. And then you have the retrim kit for the door pull, which is material glued, turned back and glued on the edges there. You can see on this panel here, this is this section here where the door pull is, just to refer to this book. So we're talking about the door panel here. So they're your main panels. That's obviously your door top capping, which we supply material for. And then you've got the door pull there, which you can just about make out the folded over bit. So a lot of that is lost, folded over, tucks in there. If you look on the back here, you'll see the cutaway there. It's worth seeing the description below, as there is a link there for we've supplied effectively fully trimmed up door pulls ready to go in, and as well there will be some videos on there showing the door top cappings fully trimmed up, original ones fully trimmed up, as well as there should be some dash and other cappings on there as well, so worth checking out the links below for that. Obviously, going back to the doors, hardboard 2.55mm. I won't go too much into the importance of the thickness, but it is important and we are pedantic with that. A lot of people try and use 3mm MDF or even 3mm hardboard or marine ply, not as suitable as 2.55mm. See our blog handbook post for this, and I will be doing a video for it as well. It's these levels of details, that 0.45mm really makes a difference for these cars in this era. But they're all cut on our in-house CNC machine, so they have the pilot holes going around, as you can see. You then have obviously the pilot holes for the window winder and door release mechanism, trimmed all the way around. The raised section in the middle there is stitched and sewn. It has the piping on the outside. Now, it's worth noting as well, and again, let us know, we do piping as standard around these. However, some cars are definitely left without piping. In fact, I believe in this book here, there is no piping on it. But just let us know whether you do or don't want piping on it. Like I say, standardly, we do pipe them, but let us know if you don't want them piping. So that's the door panel area. Now moving further back, we've got the B-post quarter panels. So these are the panels directly behind the door over the wheel arch. You can't really see them in this picture, but you can see the tail there. So they're basically just behind the seat here, or just there. See it there? And they have an associated capping as well. So the capping material is supplied as part of the kit to retrim your current one. Then the B-post quarter panels themselves, they're millboard. But there are two different versions, as you can see here, and it's all related to the rear parcel shelves. Basically, this section here, the depth of it, front to back, changed. You had a thin version, this area here, you had a thin version and you had a fat version. And depending on the thin or fatness of your rear parcel shelf, it altered which quarter panel you had, because the fat version, as you can see here, kinks out, and therefore there needs to be a step for where the shelf comes out. So that's for that one there. So i.e. big rear parcel shelf, quarter panel with the cutout. Small rear parcel shelf, small B-post. Anyway, back to the B-post. They are millboard, again cut on our in-house CNC machine, and again the black grain millboard that we use, fiberboard, is fantastic, because look at the curve bend that you can get on that, which is crucial for these because they do bend in the car. You can see the angle that they have to go to on that there. So again, we're using all the right materials, and then they're very nicely and neatly trimmed all the way around. Then moving further back on the car, the last items, we'll start with the rear capping, which again is material to re-trim the current one. So that's this piece here. And again, see the link below, because I will be putting some trimmed up versions of those. We're doing some, in fact, for this maroon kit here that I've got the A-post for, customer is sending me his old cappings for us to redo those. So see that. And then finally the rear parcel shelf, which obviously I've covered a decent amount on, but it's hardboard, car in-house CNC machine again, has necessary pilot holes. But then this is a good example of why the hardboard that we use and the specific thickness that we use is important, because this large rear parcel shelf has quite a curve to it on the outside, and although I'm not going to be, well, I suppose I can go like that. Look at the bend you can get on that, and no worries of it breaking whatsoever. It's fantastic material for that purpose. We get it especially imported. You will not find 2.55mm hardboard very easily at all. We import it especially for these kits and have absolutely tons of it. As you can see, all of our blanks pre-cut on the shelf there. But yeah, it really does pay dividend to use the right materials. Marine ply, MDF do not stack up as well for these things, and these are the details that we go to. Look at that, how flexible that is. and it's purpose made for automotive and marine, so it is suitable for these elements of things. Oil tempered, has a decent water resistance level on it, so it's really good stuff. So yeah, that is the complete kit. Hope you found that useful. Hope I didn't go on too long. Looking at 15 minutes so far, not too bad, but not as brief as I'd like. Anyway, I do get carried away with these things. I do it most off the top of my head. So yeah, I hope you found that useful. Like I say, be sure to check out the description below for useful links and information. Of course, remember to like, subscribe and share with other classic car enthusiasts. Add any comments that you've got below, especially if you've got information that I might have missed out. Be sure to check out our website and our handbook post, but crucially, be sure to tune in next time, as I'll have some more information for you. Cheers, bye-bye.